more minutes?
We can start, sir. As we have
Okay, in
already
the meantime, people
communicated,
may
there is
join.
a survey link also. Let us let
Okay.
all of them fill in the form. During that, we can start.
Okay. Okay. A very good morning to all the participants, and a very good morning to our Associate Director of Research, Dr. C. Ramna sir, and a very good morning to Amran Naik sir for accepting our invitation, and then sparing your time for orienting the people on this aspect, actually, which is very much needed and essential. So, for the sake of the participants, it is just to inform that our agriculture university, Acharya Engineering Agriculture University, is having an agri-business incubator, and where we are promoting this agri-startup ecosystem not only across the state of Andhra Pradesh, but also serving the needs of some entrepreneurs from the neighboring states also, like Tamil Nadu, Telangana, then Karnataka, and even gone to Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh also. So, as a part of this, we are organizing these type of webinars for all the entrepreneurs. It's not only limited to our jurisdiction, but the entire country, which may be helpful for them to get some ignite their minds and get some innovative ideas or thoughts, and then make them as successful entrepreneurs. So till now, actually, we started established some 56 agri startups through our incubator till now, and 4 crores funding has been given. As a part of promoting this startup ecosystem, we are organizing this type of national webinars. And I welcome our Associate Director of Research, Dr. C. Ramna sir, to give introductory remarks or addressing to the participants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Balosan Reddy. Good morning to all the participants, and actually this seminar or webinar, which is being conducted from RARS Tirupati, from Incubation Acharya Engineering Agriculture University Incubation Center from Tirupati. And now I welcome all the delegates and as well as the participants, and especially I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sharda Jayalakshmi Dev Garu, and our the another Director of Research, L. Prashanti Garu, in this particular webinar. And of course, say this today's meeting on the agri innovations in ICT, IoT, and artificial intelligence. So this was really required. So the AI and ICT or IoT has become a buzzword of the entire India and now in this generation. And at the same time, the people are very smartly using these IoT or ICT technologies for the different applications. In that context, we actually invite or say to give a light or throw a light on this particular subject, especially in the agriculture. So in which way we can go ahead with these tools, maybe ICT or IoT or artificial intelligence, what you call, or machine learning technologies. So which can be used for different applications of agriculture and allied sector innovations as well as the processes. In these what you call present day context, it is more essential, and it is very essential to have an idea about this particular thing. I hope our Naik will deliver a excellent lecture. He is having a very good expertise in this particular subject, and say we are all really happy to invite you, Dr. Naik, for this particular webinar. for getting started and so which can be used for different applications of the agriculture, even the allied sectors, and they can be part of our innovation center or incubation center also, which is now open for even application, or if they have any smart ideas or good ideas, innovative ideas, they can come and have a participation in this particular incubation center. So thank you, Bala Hussain Reddy and his team, Lakshmi and other people, those who have kind a very apt, what do you call, the required topic for today's webinar. And now I hand over mic to the Bala Hussain Reddy to introduce expert and then go ahead with this webinar.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for addressing the participants. Now I request actually Lakshmi to introduce the speaker of today's webinar, sir. Thank you.
A very good morning once again to all of you. It's my pleasure to introduce today's resource person. Sir is Mr. Amar Nayak. Sir is BE from BE Computers from Goa College of Engineering. Later MBA in General Management from IIM Lucknow, and also Business Analytics and Advanced Supply Chain Management. He has done another course from Indiana University, Kelley School of Business. And currently, Sir is a Senior Vice President of Engineering at Divam Corporate Services Private Limited, a leading provider of digital solutions and services for startups and enterprises. With over 20 years of experience in the IT industry, Sir has a proven track record of delivering complex and scalable products across multiple domains and platforms, leveraging his expertise in digital transformation and artificial intelligence. His core competencies include product building and architecting, IT consulting, and delivery management. Sir has successfully created and implemented roadmaps, standards, and processes for various clients and stakeholders, ranging from fintech, banking, and to healthcare and non-profit organizations. Sir is also led and mentored a global team of engineers, consultants, and analysts, ensuring high quality performance and professional growth. His mission is to empower businesses and organizations with innovative and impactful digital solutions that enhance their value proposition and customer experience. With this brief introduction, I'd like to request our resource person, Amar Nayak sir, to take the session forward. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the nice introduction. It was kind of all the senior members to introduce me, and I'm very happy to get here. Right. So I think I have some. I'm actually in IIT Jodhpur today for a conference on medical thing. For I think I'm holding a session on AIMs here. So I'm having an internet issue here. So, but I think I will be able to manage through the phone. During the presentation, I will just put my camera off, right? I request, right, all of the members who are there in the call today to please take some time to fill the survey out. The survey has two intentions. I mean, we are not trying to basically identify your plus and negative. We are also trying to see where you stand in terms of current knowledge, right? And that way it will help me out in basically, preparing customizing my message accordingly. Second thing is at the end of the survey, we'll also take a post webinar survey. The purpose of that will be, to see what areas, ma'am and team can actually have further things that will not be covered in the webinar today. So that will actually help for us to be more targeted, right? So today, basically, what I will be doing is just so that everybody is aware, I'll be going through an overview, right? What is ICT? What is IoT? And, I'm also, one of the things I'm also doing is I'm pursuing my PhD. So as a research scholar for last 3 years, right, I've traveled to different universities across the world, even in India, different tier 1, tier 2 cities. So there are some learnings from which I have. So today I'm going to focus on basically introduction. What are challenges faced. Many of the audience and the people I understand. They are from agriculture background, and there are students. There are people who are there. At the end, basically, if time permits, I will show a simple, I would say, an AI program. It's basically, which I did it in my laptop yesterday night. Basically, what it shows is based on data collected. Let's say tomorrow a farmer basically goes in and he gives the condition. This is my soil. This is the weather. What crop should I cultivate? Right? It's a simple example of a code file. I will also share all this, all the presentations and all the whatever code I do with everybody. We are also capturing I've also requested everybody to set the email ID so that we can mail all the resource files to each of you, right? So that is the intention of this whole thing. So okay, Rafiq, understand voice is breaking. I'll try to make sure I'm in a good connection. Um, So I think I will start my presentation now. What we will do is, I think after every 30, now it's around 10:22. If you have any questions, during the group, during the discussion, right? Please type in the chat. We will take that conversation. We'll take all the. I'll try to make sure I answer all the questions that we have in the presentation today, webinar today. And my request to all of you is, I will be also giving my email ID and the form, right? If something is not covered due to time constraint, I will try to respond to each of you later and try to handle it out, right? So I'll just start my presentation. Just give me a second. Ma'am, I have presentation rights, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. You are a co-host. You can do it. If you have any like connection issues or low network, means you can even forward it to me, sir, so that our team can present on behalf of you. So
Sure.
that
I'll just try to present it on my side. If it has some issues, then we can I'll do that.
Sir. On the other hand, I'm just giving you.
Sure. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yes.
So as I start my presentation, right? I think can any of you, whoever like, would you like to? Okay.
You're going on mute, sir. Amar, sir, you are going on mute. Yeah, do we lost him? I think we have lost him. His connection. Just wait for a minute, please, till he joins back.
I hope I'm audible now.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, I'll start the presentation in 2 to 3 minutes. If anybody has any questions, right, I request you to just type it in the chat. In the meanwhile, I'll quickly get the PPT set up, right, so that we can walk through. And also a quick thing is, I've got a response of around 21 people. I think on the On the webinar today, we have around 81 people. I request all of you to please, fill out the survey link that was given out. It will actually help us out to understand you better. So I hope, ma'am, my screen is visible now, right?
Not yet, sir. Not yet started.
Is it loading?
Even I didn't see that loading also, sir.
Okay, 1 second. Still, you're not able to see it, right?
No. And one more request with the audience is that, like, if you have any views or how you wanna get benefited out of the sessions like ICT and IoT in agricultural applications, or do you have any what we say, any clarifications required on that? Even you can post all the questions in the chat box. And what is that you are looking for in today's national webinar? All the details. Now we are able to see your screen, sir. It is
Okay, great. Yeah. So today, right, basically, I think all of you are aware of the whole topic today. The focus will be on these 4 items, right? I quickly want to, understand, just quickly want to reiterate the agricultural landscape. Then I think I want to quickly, the second focus will be on implementing the ICT and IoT solutions. I'll walk you through case studies, right? And the third thing will be harnessing the potential of agri-tech innovations, right? As I think the prestigious senior members introduced earlier, that today ICT and IoT is actually leading a lot of revolution in, I would say, agriculture sector, how it can be used. And at the last one, basically, I will give more examples of, I would say references, so that, we at least have an idea, right, what it can be used. Because I think one of the things that I've also faced or noticed is there is a lack of awareness in terms of what is possible. With social media, lot of information flows in, but how to do it is a challenge, right? So I think today's webinar, basically the purpose is to make sure all of us agree on the agricultural landscape. And with this, some of the sample case studies, right, I want to also open some thought process of the audiences so that we can actually, basically discuss further, right? So just a quick introduction, right? I think what is happening is, starting with basics, right? ICT means, information communication technology, right? And IoT is basically Internet of Things, right? So IoT is basically a combination of hardware and software, right? And information communication technology is where, I would say majority of the ML AI space comes in, right? You don't need basically an IoT, right? I will detail further on it, right? But I think what is happening is a combination of ICT and IoT is actually is important for sustainable future, right? The reason for that is lot of times our farmer brothers sisters, they spend time on something basically based on knowledge that they have in their head, right? And if you talk to any agriculture person, like, I'm also coming from agriculture background. When I talk to my dad or my grandpa, right, amount of knowledge that they have in their head is so much, which they have built based on the experience, that even my ML model is not able to give that knowledge to me, right? Now, but the challenge that I have is when I speak to the senior farmers, right? How do I use their knowledge for a new person who's coming up, like probably somebody who's starting the new, or let's assume that tomorrow I want to go into farming. I will talk to my I'll talk to how do I use that? That is the power of ICT and IoT applications, right? So it retains the knowledge, and that knowledge can be reused by across. So I'm sitting in Bangalore now, and most of you are sitting in different places. Ma'am and team are located in Tirupati, right? So how we can cross collaborate, right? So that is the power of ICT and IoT communications, right? And that is where this cross knowledge sharing is basically, what happens. So typically, if you see the old concepts, right? I mean, when I say old concepts, what is currently also there, most of the farmers talk to each other, or they go to Tehsildar office, or they go to mandis, or in a panchayat, the panchayat head, or some incubators or some universities, they organize conferences, or government people, send some things through radio, through a TV, right? That is what happens. But now with the advent of I would say phones, I would say, which are having good memory, lot of things can be done through your mobile, right? And that is where lot of initiatives government is running, where apps are created, notification are being sent out, additional alerts are sent out, right? That is the power of ICT and IoT, right? So what is the benefit, right? The biggest benefit of ICT and IoT is real-time monitoring and analysis of crops, right? Uh, Most of the times in India, most of the issues that are happening in, I would say, of agriculture, right? It is a post effect. Like, farmers basically go and cultivate, or, the soil is not there, or they put a lot of pesticide, or the climate is not suitable. They realize it after after the they have taken the money for cultivating. They put, I would say, a lot of effort in cultivating the crops, and that is what happens, right? The biggest benefit of I would say ICT and IoT is real time communication, right? That is the biggest thing. And as the crops are growing, you can actually, take a picture, and you can analyze. Like, if any of you are from a farmer background, what you will typically do is people will just go to the farm, they'll try to cut the weeds, or they will see the leaves, and then they will decide, right? And that is basically comes with experience. Or what you will do is you will call some of the neighborhood farmers who are senior people. They will come and look at your plant, and they'll give you suggestions. With technology, all these things can be done real time, right? And that is the beauty of ICT and IoT, right? And this can actually enhance farming techniques, and this will actually help that, to even save money, right? And when I say save money, it's not about saving money in terms of, I will reduce the amount of ingredients given to the plants. It is in terms of unnecessary usage of pesticides, unnecessary wrong crop cultivation, wrong seed, or some awareness in terms of weather. That is where ICT IoT comes up. Like, today, whenever, let's assume that the weather is bad, the communication is very fast. But if you look at like 2 to 3 years back, I mean, not even 2 to 3 years back, earlier, that communication is taking a lot of time to reach. But still today, lot of the farmers are not technology savvy. Like, they use normal phones. They don't use advanced phones, right? So that is where the gap happens. But with ICT and IoT in agriculture, those things are slowly changing, and they can definitely change, right? That is the benefit of ICT, right? One more biggest, I would say the limitation is personalization. What I mean by that is a farmer sitting in Bangalore village versus a farmer sitting in Guntur village versus a farmer sitting in some village in, Uttar Pradesh or Northeast India, right? Each of them have different conditions. Each of them have different weather pattern. Each of them have different, I would say, soil. All these things needs basically customized recommendation. What I recommend to a farmer who's sitting in a place in, let's say, currently I'm in Jodhpur, is not applicable to a farmer sitting in Kerala or Andhra or any villages, right? Each village is different. For all this to happen, we need to get the real-time data, right? And that's where today's device is actually capture the data, and this data can be analyzed in real time. So without having data, giving a recommendation is always a problem, right? For example, a lot of people, when you talk to anybody, you might go and tell him, hey, this is my land. I want to grow this. Can I grow, for example, papaya crop? Or can I grow, chiku crop or some, let's say guava crop? I mean, that is a good question. But before even the person can answer, the next question is which area you are in, what is the pH of your soil, right? How much area you have under cultivation, right? So that level of depth is needed before you can decide which crop can be cultivated, right? And that is where IoT and other technologies come in, right? They can actually help you out to collect data real time and also give you good recommendation real time, right? And that is the right usage of I would say technology. So with IoT and with ICT today, lot of data can be collected real time, and these advancements are actually helping in increasing the productivity because you have the data from the particular field, and ultimately I would say a good future for the farmers, and even that benefits. I mean, farmers are healthy, farmers grow good crops, that benefits the whole population of a country also, right? And that is where I think ICT and IoT is a really a powerful I would say support. Now the next thing I want to quickly introduce is um, precision agriculture, right? What I meant by precision agriculture is, um, like I gave an example of the crop, right? Basically guava crop or any crop, right? Now it depends upon the soil. Typically, what happens is farmers are driven by news. Like if you guys remember the price of potato, I mean, say tomatoes increased so much last year, right? And it was actually there were a lot of information about farmers getting rich by selling potatoes sorry tomatoes. So a lot of people actually went for that cultivation, but by the time the crops actually the fruits were ready and they could go to the market, it was actually a loss for them. And a lot of farmers actually they had thoughts that they'll earn lakhs of money, but they hardly could recover thousands of money, right? So basically, the reason I'm getting up this point is most of the time the decision for like a crop takes some time, right? A minimum 3 months to maximum that time is there. So it is important that decisions are made not based on the media or not based on news that is coming up, but it's based on actual information, right? And I think that's where the precision agriculture methods, right? Because your fertilization, pest control, whether the crops, what time they will be ready, all the decisions matter. And only when everything is interlinked, it will be a win-win situation for a farmer who's toiling hard in the field, and ultimately for him to get good rates, right? And for this to happen, a precision agriculture is very much needed, right? So before I go on, right, I also want to inform to like all of you in the audience, right? Um, Things will not change over time, right? And basically, uh, whatever you learn through ICT or IoT, right, it will take some time, but it is at the same time it is important to start. I think, and that is what the intention of this whole discussion is, right? So I'll take a quick pause. I just want to before I go to my next section, I just want to see if anybody has any specific questions. Uh, I request all of you to please type it or on the group. Ma'am, are there any questions which anybody has asked? I think I rejoined, so I lost the chat.
No,
Are
no.
there any questions on
Actually,
the?
no, sir. Actually, there are, as of now, though, there are no questions as such regarding the topic, but I think we can expect by end of the session so that they'll understand more about ICT and IoT applications so that they
Okay.
can just clarify it.
I think somebody called iPhone, whose name is, he has a question. Can you please type your question in the chat?
Yes.
I request all of you people who are hearing, don't worry about the question. Don't worry about the question right or wrong. Please type your question. Every 10-15 minutes, I will come to
Hello,
the chat section. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please.
am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Ramanvita. I'm a artificial intelligence student and
Yes.
I'm doing project on plant disease detection.
Okay.
So after doing market survey, we
Mm-hmm.
came to know that they're doing plant disease detection on very uh, small plants, like ground level plants. So if I want to do disease detection on areca plants or plants which are very like high
Okay.
or huge size, so how will I implement that? And also in IoT agriculture for doing this pH sensing, temperature sensing, and automatic irrigation. So,
Mhm.
how AI can be implemented in that? So, I wanted to know as a student for doing project.
So, okay, I'll answer your question in two parts. Okay.
Yeah.
I think for a AI to happen, right, you need data, right?
Okay.
And I
Yes.
think the first step is, before you can do any kind of algorithm implementation, right, you have to think about the data part. Okay. So
Yeah.
do not go with whatever the market is saying, or what exists. If you
Okay.
go to GitHub, right, and if you look
Yeah.
at the solution which are there, you'll find a lot of this plant detection issues, right? But the biggest problem
Yeah.
in agriculture sector is
Getting database.
yes, right. So
Yeah.
if I was in your place, I would suggest there are two. I mean, I would I mean, typically, right, whenever you have a startup, right, there are basically three stages. First is the POC stage, right, wherein you do a mark. I mean, you have done the market research now. You get
Yes.
some sample data and try to build a small working prototype. Okay,
Okay.
basically, and the data basically try to get and data don't have to if you don't get a data set, you try to create your own data set, right? And
Yeah.
there is something called as you can actually create, and once you give the data sets, AI can actually help you create multiple variation of data sets. For example,
Yeah.
if you take a leaf photo which is damaged, AI can actually give you multiple variation data set, right? So you focus on first creating a small prototype where with small data set, you are actually able to create a working prototype. In the mean, and once you have done that, the next step is to scale it. Like, you as more data set comes in, your program should be able to run automatically, right? So I would recommend you to, focus now on get your images with the help of
Hmm.
AI, create multiple variations in the input file and create a small working prototype. That will be the first step. Once you have the
Okay.
working prototype, right, for scaling it, you can actually see if you can partner with some universities who can help you in sourcing data, or you can write to some of the agriculture universities across the world who might have the data set, but they will talk to you only once you're able to show them a working prototype that you have done.
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, yes. What about the plant disease detection for higher, like huge plants like areca and all? Is it possible?
It is possible, but it is definitely possible, but you have to spend a lot of time on getting those quality of images and telling the machine that this is how. See, a machine is basically, there are two kinds of options, right? Typically in a college project, we take a pre-trained model and we make it better with by inputting more data set, right? So if you want
Yeah.
to start from a scratch, you'll have to get a data set for a huge plant which shows a healthy plant and which shows a I would say a damaged plant. So you are able to basically train your model in terms of the data sets. That data has to go in. So that model can detect when you next time when you give a huge plan, how it will know it's a good or bad plan, right? So that is the
I
challenge.
also wanted
Mhm.
to know how we can like detect manually. Do we have to take pictures from sky? Like, because Areca is very huge.
Correct.
We can't just take pictures like taking pictures of paddy or
Correct.
ragi and all.
Right.
So as a student, I
See, I
wanted
would
to know
suggest you,
how, yeah.
yeah, I would suggest you that, you don't focus on the whole plant, right? You try to see if you can take pictures of leaves, right? Or,
Mm,
just focus on image. See, because machines, for AI to be effective, it should be able to see the image clearly and as close as possible, right?
mm, mm,
And that is where I was saying the quality of data will matter. You
yeah.
should you should basically, right, first talk to any I would say agriculture professor, anybody who can actually help you out in differentiating between a good, what is a healthy areca and what is a, I would say areca with disease.
Disease.
So yes, that's the first step, right? After that,
Mm,
you have to train the machine with the image of a healthy plant and a disease plant. Then so that your machine knows. That is the ideal step.
okay.
And I think we have one more question, sir, in the
Hello.
chat box from Kanika.
Yes. Hi, Kanika. Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
question is all about AI applications are very costly. How it can help in bringing up small and marginal farmers in our country, as more of the farmers fall into this category.
1 second. I'll just take the question.
Yes.
Hello, good morning, sir.
And one more thing, requesting all the participants, if it is a like overall the sector related question, we can take it up in the webinar undoubtedly. And if it is falling into a personal discussion or if you have any personal questions or doubts regarding your project or anything else, as the sir has rightly mentioned, you can reach out to him or WhatsApp or email so that he can check and get back to you. Thanks.
Okay, so Kanika, I'll answer your question, right? So Kanika, the first question is AI application very costly. How it can help in bringing up? See, AI application is very costly. I think the cost comes from the fact that the cloud cost, right? And that's where the government of India is being
Huh?
government of India is hello.
Yes, sir. I have muted them. You please go ahead.
Sure. So Kanika, I think what is happening is government of India is actually stepping up, with providing this application, right? And there are a lot of, I would say, free resources available, which farmers can actually use them, right? I think that is the only way which can be done, right? And see, um, farmers are I would say not replaceable, right? But there are some things which farmers basically do repeatedly, like check the plants or reach out to somebody. AI can improve the productivity. I think that is where we have to look at technology. You will find a lot of online social media gyan being given that tomorrow's farmers will look like a robot and all. No, that is not the real world, right? I can vouch for it as a technology person that AI will, any tool, be it AI, ML, IoT, blockchain, anything that you take, it will help us in improving the productivity. For example, I'll just give a simple example. When a farmer is sleeping at night, his biggest problem is, hey, will some kind of unplanned weather happen, or will some cow come to this thing, right? That's where technology can help him out. He can sleep peacefully so that he can get an alert if something like this is going to happen, right? So that he can be aware. That's the simplest thing, right? Where we can help the farmer getting more better.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
please. Yeah, please.
So I had one more question. Like AI and ICT and IoT are all based on the data collected by different resources, right? But
Mhm.
in culture, everything is changing very drastically. Like it is also dependent on the uncontrollable factors like weather and all. So
Yes.
when the accuracy and efficiency comes of these
Mm-hmm.
tools, sometimes like how much accurate they are, and like how they can help us in the real time things, like because in agriculture
Mm-hmm.
sometimes due to weather and all those things,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's pest infestation, disease infestation, so how it
Correct.
can help in there.
See, two things, right? First of all, I think let's assume that let's assume that you're in one place, right? Let's assume that you are in a place in Guntur, and you end up, having a basically infestation, which is the first time that is happening, right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
in this case, what happens is the farmer is basically stressed out, and he's basically thinking, what should I do, right? In this case, you basically what you need to do is for example, such a case, you simply have to, when this issue is happening, this problem would have been faced by uh, 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 ideally by other farmers across the world or in India, right? And you need to have a communication. And this is not an AI problem, right? This is basically a simple technology issue, right?
Yes, sir.
So now what happens is in AI is like a more like a lookup, right? For example, tomorrow you go to your I would say your book, and you turn your pages, right? So AI will basically do that lookup. Let's say that there is a disease due to some kind of insecticide. AI will go and tell the AI that my plants are infected due to this, or you take a picture. AI will come and help you. Okay, for this, what you should do. That is where the AI comes up. So basically, we humans, we have a limited memory power, but with AI they actually are machines wherein they have a lot of information, so it can actually do a quick lookup for you across the world database and give that information to you. Now, why AI and why not Google? I mean typically that is the next question I always get, right? The reason
Yes,
for
sir.
that is Google basically, actually what Google does is it actually scans the data and stores it. It doesn't have case studies or information from real things. The AI tools that are coming up, they're trying to improve the quality, right? Let's say AI is a machine. If you put a junk data, garbage into it, it will also give you a bad data. If you go to a chat GPT, if you go to a Bard, or if you go to any open source AI that are available today, they are basically trained on open data. That is where, if you look at Bharat GPT that is coming up with either Reliance Jio or with government when they are launching, they are taking the base LLM models which are there currently, and they are training it based on India specific conditions so that it can be as much customized as possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think we'll come back to the questions in a while. I'll go to the remaining presentations, right? Next section, and probably in the meanwhile, I hope some of these questions are answered in the next things, and we'll come back again to the question section. So the next section which I want to cover today is basically understanding the agriculture landscape, right? I mean, over here, I think we'll cover four things. What is the current agriculture challenges? How is ICT and IoT is and helping it out? I think some of it we've already covered earlier, but I'll reiterate it again. And I'll also have some case studies for agriculture innovation. And the fourth point is leveraging data for agriculture development, right? This is what we'll talk about. So, in terms of agriculture challenges, right, I think the biggest challenges which are faced by farmers is resource scarcity, right? The arable land availability, the accessibility of quality seeds, the good fertilizers, right? This is the biggest problem which the farmers face. Second problem is market access, right? Like farmers are located in one place, and the mandis, or the place where they have to go and sell, look at different place. And sometimes by the time it reaches you have harvested it to the time, right? That is the biggest challenge which faced, and lot of food get destroyed in the middle. Third thing is, as you rightly said, I think one of the persons just now called out climate change. I think this is the biggest issue that is happening out, and this is leading to a lot of stress because you're not able to predict some of the things. Like this season, for example, is the winter season, mostly places in India, but suddenly rain is coming up, or suddenly some places even rains are not coming up. Like so I'm basically a native of Goa, So we have this, mango plants. This year, the mango plant flowers itself will not come up. So basically, in the area, across the area, right, a lot of the people are actually looking at a very bad lot this year, right? So no flowers for the plant means no this thing, and they have done all possible things, right? But this is purely due to climate change, right? So these are the, I would say, the major three buckets or three issues that are being faced, right? Now, where does ICT IoT can help, right? Now, we talked about precision farming, right? So what it means is farmers can take a decision based on the weather prediction and decide what they can do better. And they can monitor crop health, right? And that monitoring crop health is very important for precision farming, right? That is what is important. The second biggest problem is supply chain management. I think this is a problem which is yet to be solved, and a lot of startups in India are working on this. Basically, how does a product or produce that is produced, by the farmer reaches in a good condition to the mandi and then to the customers? I mean, as an end user, when we go to the market, when we are buying something from the vegetable shop, we reject that thing. If we wouldn't want to buy a vegetable which is spoiled. We wouldn't want to buy an apple or a banana which is spoiled. But it's not the fault of the farmer. Sometimes the fault also lies in supply chain. Like when a banana goes from a farming land to the mandi or to the storage house, and from the storage house to the market, till the customer, there are a lot of players in the middle, right? And supply chain is the biggest issue, and that's where ICT and IoT can help. Third thing is market information access, right? Typically, where will I get the best price? That is the farmer's thing, because it's like farmers would want the produce to be sold at the best price. Also, today with technology available, there are a lot of misinformation happening, right? And ICT and IoT application can actually help with giving real-time market information, like what is the price going in, what is the price that a government is promising, right? And that's where the information from ICT and IoT can help. A simplest example I can give you is, based on the quality of plant, right, or based on the quality of a banana or any fruit or any vegetable, your price varies. There are good, I would say, good people in the industry who are ready to pay premium prices for a good quality produce, right? So ICT and IoT can actually help in real time give this information, right? And uh, that is where technology can help the farmers to get his right reward for his farming. Let's assume that a farmer produces bad. I mean, it's not up to the quality. So in this case, the technology can help him to make him realize that this is the price he'll get it, and he will not waste time spending on going to multiple places with his produce, right? So he will know that for this quality, you should go to these places. That is where the ICT and IoT applications beautiful comes in, right? Now, some of the places, some of the case studies which are really great, and I would say people are seeing the benefit. One is, bee recting technologies. This is something wherein, it uses bees, honey bees, right? It helps in controlling the agent to the crops, reducing the need for chemical pesticides, also promotes. In India, a lot of places now this horticulture is coming up, but people are actually, creating plants inside a house where fishes are grown on the ground, and the fishes, they eat the substance, and this fishes actually enriches the proteins, and the plants grow healthy, right? So multiple things have been tried out, like bees is one of the ways, even fishes have been tried out. Now, ICT, basically technology, right? I spoke earlier about the farmers, having issues when they sleep at night. What will happen? So they can actually, ICT can help in actually assessing the crop health, detecting the diseases, deciding how much water is needed, so that only that much amount of water is happening, either underwatering or overwatering not happening. But these are where ICT can actually play a real good role. This is a simple detectors or simple sensors which can be established, and those sensors can actually help in deciding what is needed, what is not needed. Third thing is smart irrigation system, right? India has, I would say, a shortage of water and shortage of a lot of things, right? But what is good is today the government is trying to, provide access to the farmers. At the same time, there is also, I would say, misuse that is happening, right? And this misuse is basically not in terms of wasting the natural resources, but that is not beneficial for the farmers also. Like underwatering or overwatering is not a ideal recommended thing, right? That is where the smart irrigation systems can actually be very beneficial, right? So these are some of the, I would say, high level case studies. I will go into the specific things at the end. Now, this is something I would say which I have been using a lot, right? Now, a lot of people have a question on data, right? And data is basically nothing but what we speak, right? When farmers speak to each other, they say that, hey, I have grown this paddy across this field, and I put so much fertilizer, I use this seeds, I went to this person to get the seed, I read this news. So this is all, I would say, unorganized information, right? Which the farmer is telling based on his experience. Now, using data, actually ICT IoT applications can do a lot of things, right? Basically, but the biggest problem is the lack of data is a problem, right? One of the person rightly called out for the plant use case that there are very few examples. But when you go to any agriculture university or when you go talk to a farmer, he will have all the information. But as a ICT and IoT person, that information is not available or it is not stored data set, right? And this vast amounts of data can be processed by the machine. Humans have a limitations, but if I can collect even from a 10 and 100 people, if I go to agriculture university and talk to like 100 people or 100 farmers, one machine can easily process that information in 5 minutes, right? That is where data-driven decision making makes very much important. Predictive analytics, right? This is something I'll also show you a working model today. Now, what happens is you have historical data. Basically, like India has been independent in 1947, and historically, as a country, today we're self-sufficient, right? And green revolution, a lot of other scientists have done a great job. Now, despite those, our agriculture is not optimized, right? But with AI and technology, we can actually do a predictive farming, right? Today, what happens is, like in village panchayats or in agriculture offices, if the information is given to the farmers on what seeds or what things they should cultivate, what crop they should cultivate. Even government recommends that this particular season cultivate this out, right? With the possibility of AI, actually you can actually feed the information and can actually recommend to you that, hey, for your soil, for your weather, for your location, please use this, but please plant this crop, right? That is what is predictive analytics. It's predictive analytics. The beauty is it is recommending you what you should plant, right? It is not forcing you. And this information is based on data, right? That is what the predictive capability is. And I would say the last and important part is with the data-driven insights, farmers have the control, right? To make informed decisions. The biggest challenge today, all of us have is we have too much information. But which information is right, which information is wrong, that's also something we have to figure out. And I think when you create a tool and when you make sure that the tool takes information only from specific sources, you're actually ensuring that farmer's life is made easy. I mean, a farmer already has a lot of challenges, right? I mean, he has to figure out how will he serve his family. He has to figure out how will he get the maximum value from his land, what plant he should come. With technology, we don't want to overburden him with another, I would say, another problem, right? We want to solve his life. And that is where farmer empowerment is important. So I think I will cover this section before I go to any questions. Here I think we still have 1 hour, so I think we'll cover good. So the next thing I want to talk about is I think we spoke about ICT and IoT, right? All that is good. But what are the challenges, real challenges, right, which are there? And second section, I'll talk about, what are the infrastructure requirements, basic infrastructure requirements. I think as one of the participants mentioned that AI is costly. I agree, AI is costly, right? That is the second point we'll talk about. Third thing is data security, right? With any good thing, there are also people who are bad, so it is very important that we have this data security and other things implemented, because we do not want the data privacy to be lost, right? That is the third bucket. And fourth is how we can scale, right? I think these are the 4 buckets I'll cover in this part, right? So in terms of challenges, right, I think the biggest problem is our farmers they're not digital literate, right? I think thankfully, some of the farmers have educated their next generation of kids, and some of them, have their relatives. But still, in India, the biggest problem is our farmers are not digital literate, right? They do not know how to use a phone. I would not say a phone, but how to use an app, which place to go. I know that is the biggest problem. Second problem is cost. Today, I would say the best phones are not available cheaply. Though we have a smartphone revolution, but I think a good working app and all needs, a good, sorry, a good phone and initial investment, right? And if you tell a farmer that, hey, go and buy this, I mean, it's a burden on him, right? And these are the technological barriers which are there for the ICT and IoT applications, right? Third thing is capacity building, right? Uh, so what it means is, like, for example, I'll give an example that is relevant here, right? I was working with government of India to empower women across India, right? So basically, what was happening is in this program, I was actually working with Google. Program is called Internet Sati. Sati is a Hindi word for friend. So what we were doing is we were going to all the tier 3 villages, and we were helping the women learn how to use a phone, right? And these phones were given by government of India. So all these women, the purpose of teaching them was, since women are staying at home, they are actually, I would say maximum women in rural India, right? We were focusing only on rural India. Women basically are influencing their kids. Some of the women, they are influencing the dietary habits, and they're also, influenced in the local villages, right? So that's where the government of India wanted to educate, the women how to do it. So through these phones, we were teaching them how to use a YouTube for, I would say, if somebody wants to stitch a blouse, how to use it. Or let's say the kids come home and they want to solve this homework, how to go and search. So we were teaching this thing, right? So even the farmers needed education. I mean, there are a lot of organizations and governments, where they're trying to do it. But I think this fostering this digital skills and technology adoption is very important. That is the biggest challenges currently, right? And third thing is um, the financial incentives, right? The incentives are tied up with seeds, the productivity, and and the farmers also have to pay back. They cannot basically, just say that, hey, I'll get this phone and I'll not pay for it, right? That is not something possible, right? And that's where I think the financial support mechanisms are needed. And lack of finance is also impacting the ability of the farmers to buy a good device. They typically rely on somebody who's there in the village who's I would say financially stable, and it's basically like a common phone, right? Like we have to have the phone booth, right? So these are 3 major, I would say, constraints that are there. Uh, I think what we talked about earlier was the adoption challenge solutions. Second is basically the biggest problem, though we have geo, though we have other things, the biggest problem that still happens is rural connectivity, right? Having a reliable internet connection. I think that is still a challenge. I mean, speaking on the phone is speaking on the phone is different from accessing the internet. Like many of you must have seen that today morning I was not able to connect, right? And I'm in a city called Jodhpur, which is supposed to be one of the good cities of Rajasthan. But I have internet issues here, right? And this gets worse and worse as we go to villages. I mean, today the good thing is we say that internet has reached across India, but it's not consistent. A lot of this application need consistent connection, right? The rural connectivity is the biggest problem. Third thing is sensor deployment, right? I mean, a sensor is I would say, any IoT device, right, is no good if it is not connected to the internet, right? And sensors have to place properly, and it should be sending real-time communication. And there are very few people available today who can, I would say, train, be it farmers or be it agents, right? Uh, like that needs. I think India still needs a lot of the people to be done, right? And that is the biggest challenge. Third thing is the cloud-based solution. I mean, this is where the cost comes in, and I mean, Indian government is trying to incentivize this, but if you look at the biggest cloud providers like Google, AWS, or even Microsoft, they are costly, and most of the incubators, they try to work with this particular thing so that they incentivize it out, right? Even when I was working with Internet Sati, we were using Google, I would say Google Cloud, and Government of India had worked with Google Cloud to make sure that all the bills for 3 to 4 years are incentivized. So basically, we did not have to pay anything money to Google, and Government of India has basically, and that is basically where the CSR fund comes in, right? And Google CSR fund will actually use the word here, right? So these are the, I would say, challenges which exist in real-time adoption. The next thing is data security, right? Typically in India, what happens is, when we upload the data, right? I mean, that data basically can be misused. Let's assume that you are a farmer and you're giving the data about your field, right? You would want to control how much of the data who can see and when I can see, right? I mean, that control should be there with the farmer. If I'm capturing the data about the farmer's land, it should not be like, I can use it the way I want, right? That capture is happening, and that is where I think data ownership comes in. Data should be transferred securely, right? I mean, this is not a problem of the farmers, but this is a problem of, I would say each of the will that revenue flow down to the particular farmers? No, right? That is where the secure data transmission matters. And today, most of the, I would say, companies who are doing well is not because they have invented some great algorithms. It is because they have some good quality data, and this good quality data is been given by somebody who have been paid like one-time fee. That's where the secure data transmission matters a lot. And last thing is compliance frameworks. India, till I would say till August 2023, right? There were not good security frameworks or things in place. India has come out with I would say, in terms of data security requirements, but that is still at a very high level. Today, if anybody also goes to a court and says that, hey, my data has been misused, the laws are back to 2000, and we are sitting in 2024. So, India has to come a lot of, I would say, climb a lot of steps before, our laws can become better, right? This is where the biggest challenge lies. The last thing in this section, basically, what I want to cover is sustainable, right? I think in the name of ICT and IoT, what is happening is, things are being pushed in. For example, uh, let's assume that everybody grows tomatoes only, right? In across India. I mean, that will actually kill other plants, right? And I think, and this needs some kind of intervention by self-help groups or a government, right? That's where the environmental impact also has to be conserved. I mean, we cannot in the name of technology abuse, right? And this is where a balance of humans and technology comes in. We cannot say that everything will be done by machines. Community engagement, right? I think this is where it's important. The biggest problem which happens is people sitting in the cities or people sitting in the buildings or fancy rooms, they create solutions for the farmers, but that is not useful, right? The real things that work in any country or any places, even in India, is when you involve the people who are going to use it, and the participation of farmers or agriculture universities is very important for any solution that we create for the help of farmers, right? That's where community engagement is very important. And the third part is policy support, right? I think we discussed about this compliance frameworks. I think that is important, so I'll skip this part. So I think this is where I stop, right? And I think I have a last section, section 4, which will talk about some specific use cases. I'll take a break now. I mean, and I will, I'll just ask if anybody has any questions.
Yes, sir. I have a question. My name is Koteshwar Rao. Can I?
Yes, sir, please.
Now, regarding this, your data-driven and IoT, ICT
Yes, sir.
unit,
Yes, sir.
where is the example? Which plot any university is being used by this IoT, ICT, and they've done any comparison with the normal cultivation and this IoT, ICT enabled gadgets? Can you give me anywhere example?
I can send you papers for that, right? I have a lot of papers which are there in that. I can send you some papers from US as well as Indian universities. If you can just drop me, just fill out this form. I will send you the papers for that. So I think the papers will help.
Okay.
And papers also has some contacts of the professors whom you can reach out to. Hello? Anybody else has any questions? Ma'am, I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions, please? Do you have anything to discuss or anything?
I think I'll just look at the chat. There were some questions which were unanswered earlier.
And we have Dr. M. Muzamil from Kashmir University has
Okay.
mentioned that like he has a question. Do we have him? Dr. Muzamil, are you there? And we have one more question, sir. For the practical implementation of ICT and IoT, most of the farmers are uneducated. I think you have already addressed that question.
Right.
Any other questions, please? There is someone asking, can we apply AI on hydroponics plants?
Rohan, yes, but I think the first thing is what metrics or what data you can capture, right? I mean, when you have data, I think it's not about hydroponic plants or non-hydroponic plants, right? It's about what data you have, like from your sensors. And once based on the looking at the data, I think is that data in a format which can be machines can understand, or you need to build an intermediate layer, right? I think that is where the question will be, right? any data that is there can't be used by the AI as it is, right? You typically end up converting the data into a format so that the insights are good, right? I think, yeah. I hope I was able to answer your question. I'll give 2 more minutes if anybody has any questions before we move on. Okay, I think I'll go to the last section that we want to cover. I think over here, I'm just talking about examples. The last section that I'm going to focus on is basically going to be examples, wherein I will talk about, what we have done, right? What are the good examples? So typically, I think one of the speakers earlier was asking about, what usages are done AI and machine learning in agriculture, right? I think crop disease prediction is one of the good use cases which is being used a lot. I mean, in Bangalore also, I've seen a lot of startups who are actually working on this. And this is basically happening in combination with, I would say, universities from abroad who are licensing their products, and Indian companies are building scalable solutions. And but I think the challenge that lies is there is no Indian specific data. That's where Government of India is stepping in along with the NGOs. And I think based on the agriculture data to predict and crop disease and early intervention is a very good example of AI and machine learning example. The second example, which is basically very commonly used, is the for soil health monitoring. I think this is where a sensor is actually put in a soil, and it actually sends a lot of sample metrics, I would say, and using that you can actually make a lot of good analysis for the soil health. Both into nutrient levels, the pH balance, the moisture content. And this is very important, not only for current crop, but for future soil management also, right? And this is a very good, I would say, use case where a lot of this is a problem which is being claimed to be solved, but where how many of our farmers in India are using it, it's not very common. But there are use cases in Gujarat where this is being used very effectively, right? The last thing is robotic farming. I think I'm not sure how many of you have seen it, but typically robots are trained to identify, right? I would say weeds, or if a fruit is ripe. And there are a lot of these things happening in Western, I would say, countries. In India, this is still an early stage where instead of humans, basically a robot can go in and cultivate. This is being piloted in some of the ICML, I would say, labs, but it's an early stage. But very good use case exists in Western countries for this. But this is one area where what is happening is most of the farmers, basically they are not having people to harvest. Like good example is I can speak from my experiences. We are having a lot of coconut, I would say, trees in our home, and we are not getting people who can actually climb those trees and get it out. All right. So basically, there is basically a machine created which can actually go to the I would say climb the tree and cut the coconuts. But the problem that my family or even the neighbors have is when humans climb, they when they climb the coconut tree, they actually check if proper plants are proper or not, or if something there, and they cut it out. But this machine is just going and just cutting it out, right? So the purpose of climbing on the tree is done. but that human check whether this plant is proper or not, whether this tree is not or not, right? That is not happening. And this is both for nuts as well as coconuts, right? So this is something lot of, I would say, machines are coming up. I think even Kerala government has been promoting this because a lot of youths are coming to the city now, and there are no people who are climbing it out. But there's something we need a lot of, I would say, validation with humans to do it. So some of the good examples of IoT are basically I would say livestock tracking, wherein real-time sensors are being placed, and they monitor the livestock, like when it comes to sheep herding or when it comes to even poultry farming, right? The sensors are actually serving very good use cases. So what typically happens is, this is where humans actually spend a lot of the times, and if basically we can replace these machines, a lot of the humans' time can be saved, right? And this is the good example of how humans can be optimized. I mean, human productivity can be improved, right? And this is the livestock farming part. Next thing is the health monitoring centers, right? I think a lot of times the infection that happens, only once it spreads across the other, I would say, animals, people come to know that this is going to happen, right? And that is where the challenge lies. With ICT IoT applications, early detection of illness is something can happen in a good way, right? And that is where I think we have to see technology can help a lot way. And this is where this is another good use case. Third one is automated feeding systems. I think lot of the, like, I've personally seen this in poultry farms, right? There are basically times, and where people keep on feeding it, and they actually keep the food in a stack, and whenever the poultries are feeling hungry, they keep on eating it out, right? And sometimes the food must be lying over there, and there is not much replacement, nothing is done. And this is basically to avoid, right? I mean, the person doesn't want to go multiple times again and again, and that's how it happens. So to skip this out, humans just go dump it out, and it keeps lying over there. And I mean, it's not the ideal usage, but with technology, there can be ensured that timely ingredients can flow in, right? And that is where the livestock management helps in. Last thing, I think one more, I mean, this is not last thing as such, but this is something I think end part, right? Where the market access. I think today a lot of farmers are aware that there are a lot of solutions, like where they can sell the produce directly. And I think a lot of the small online stores also coming up. I think this, with ICT applications, farmers can actually reach out to, I would say, the end consumers like Reliance, More, or the stores, right, who actually take it up. And this is where the e-commerce platform can be very handy. And I think the ICT applications can be helpful on this part. The next is digital payment solutions. I think this is where good revision already happening in India with UPI payment happening. But I think credit part is a challenge, because typically in India, when a credit comes up to, what happens is, CIBIL score is a common mechanism. But for farmers and all, this is something, a challenge. How do they access? And typically, farmers have to mortgage their lands, right? And a lot of governments are actually digitizing the land records and all, which is actually helping it out. But availability of cheap credit is a problem, right? And that is where I think digital permit solutions are working on. There is one area where ICT and IoT applications can work together by real-time accessing the quality of the land, quality of the soil, so that your credit disbursement is based on the real-time data rather than the historical data which had been uploaded earlier. And last thing is, there's something called as blockchain. I mean, the only thing I want to tell here is, it's outside the AI, and I would say outside AI, but the good part of the blockchain is it keeps the traceability. Like today, for example, when a food goes dispatched from a farming land to a mandi, we rely on farmers' knowledge that, hey, it got dispatched this and this time, and it reached at this time. So, but with the blockchain solution things, right, traceability is always there, and it can't be tampered with. Like, for example, let's assume that you have a notebook, and in that you make a record that I'm leaving my farm at this time. And once you reach the mandi, you will, go and record it out. But what happens is that can be tampered with. Somebody can, create a new book. But in a blockchain or even in technology solutions which are non-blockchain based, somebody can just go in and tamper it with, right? I mean, they can just modify the record. But in blockchain solutions, I think that is the beauty of it. Whatever records once entered, it is authenticated and nobody can tamper with, right? And that is where a lot of the startups are coming up and helping in introducing the traceability. So this is basically an example of, I would say, market access and fintech solutions which are working on. The last thing I think which I want to talk about in this bucket is partnerships, right? I think earlier in old age days, only government was active. Now with a lot of private players coming up, I think this is where it is helping farmers also become better. Like, I know that Reliance has been active because I work with them as a consultant for some of the applications. So, I mean, this public-private partnership is actually helpful. But the challenge that lies here is in public-private partnership still is farmers are not aware of the opportunities. That is one part. Second is when this partnership happens, right? Typically, these partnerships happen at the end of the journey, right? But these private players know that what is demand in the market, and the way government communicates, right, like cultivate this. For example, I'll give an example is of McDonald's. McDonald's basically has a potato quality, right? And it has a seed which it has patented across. So McDonald's looking out for farmers across India where these potatoes can be cultivated. Now, this information has to reach out to all the farmers, and they're paying well, right? This information has to reach out to all the farmers. But McDonald's also needs information that real time, when the seeds are cultivated, real time information goes to them so that they can monitor the quality of the whole thing, right? So it's a chicken and egg problem. When it's chicken and egg problem, first is awareness of the information that this opportunity is available. Second is once the information is aware, the real-time information has to go to the person who's giving it up, right? So both things have to work together so that it's a win-win situation for the farmers as well as the person who's going to buy the produce, right? That is where this public-private partnerships is very important for collaboration. Second is the startups incubator. I think today's session that we're doing is a good example that lot of startups are coming up in India related to agriculture, which can actually change the I would say the face of the things. The good part of the startups is they are happening in I would say tier 2, tier 3 cities who are well connected to the farming. I would say nearby, right? And they can actually get their products validated with the customer directly, and this can actually help them make things better, right? That is where the startup incubation is a very good thing. And third and important thing is knowledge sharing platforms. Like one of the questions earlier was, when a new disease comes up, right, how do we figure it out? Or if a farmer has learned something new, how does he share the information, right? That is where the knowledge sharing information is very, very important. I mean, typically what happens is when people gather together, or when information is shared, this information come to know. But I think with ICT and IoT technologies, what is happening is you can actually publish saying that, hey, this is what I learned today. Or when a farmer is coming up with a new issue, he can actually find out that, hey, this is something I've come across. Has anybody faced this problem, right? That is where the knowledge sharing platforms can be very, very handful, right? So I think this is what I have today. The remaining things, what I have is basically only some examples. I think I'll take a pause now for questions, right? Please, I think if any questions are there, I would request all of you to ask it.
Uh, Good afternoon, Mr. Manaik. Again, this is Koteshwar Rao calling.
Hello, sir. Yeah.
I'm sorry it was got interrupted. I was offline when you're answering my question regarding
No problem,
examples.
sir.
Now, okay,
Yeah.
this is regarding a small clarification. Is
Yes,
this
sir.
IoT, ICT gadgets are available? What technology? Is it low technology, high technology, medium technology gadgets? Is it freely available in the market or any manufacturer here, or mostly it has to be come from the abroad?
No. India has got a lot of solutions which can be used, right? I mean, there are a lot of startups in India which are actually giving this. The only challenge is whether this can be customized for your needs, right? Typically, what happens is when you approach a company for approaching any solution, they'll ask you some set of questions, and based on that, it can be recommended. And these are very easy to be used solutions, right? The challenge with IoT devices, basically, you need to install it in the farm or to do real time monitoring. And I'll tell you a simple thing, right? Like
Yeah.
if you look at cameras, right?
Mm.
These cameras can be installed in the farm, right? And these people, what they do is the camera feed is going to the central, I would say, central storage. They analyze the data and give it to you. This is the simplest solution that has been there in place in India.
Yeah, okay. I'm not talking really about the sensors, really like NPK sensors. Are they industrial standard or simply just project? You make something, they give the data. How reliable these gadgets available in India?
They are industry standard, right? But again, India is a diverse place, right? So I think each of the things you will need specific customizations. But definitely they're industry standard. They are not any more projects in India.
Are they affordable for the small farms or is it
That
very
no,
expensive?
I think affordability is something. If it comes to government programs, it will be affordable. That depends on the farmers. But I think the normal, I would say, a farmer who is good, comfortable, he can afford it. But a farmer who is, I would say, a small scale farmer, for him, he
Can
will
I,
have to look
can
at
I,
collaboration.
yeah, it is not possible. I can
Yes,
understand. But whatever
yes.
is available, it should be validated, it should be reliable. But I see most of the available things are all just work one or two times. After that, they may not giving a proper readings, calibration, and all that. That is why I'm asking: is it
No,
any
no,
standardized?
you are right. I think that is where a lot of startups are working for making sure they are suitable for Indian, right? What happens in India is we take technology inspiration from West and try to import in India, but India is a different ball game, right? That is where Indian startups are working to make sure it's customized to the Indian things. But there are a lot of solutions available.
Okay.
But I think we'll have to be specific on the problem and then look at a solution whether it works well or not, right? I think that is the way I would like to answer the question.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Ma'am, I'm also sending one. I think you have sent one form for the participants, right?
Yes.
For the people to have any question not unanswered, I'm sending one more form. You can probably combine that also along with that.
Yes, sir, I can do that.
So one quick question to all of you guys. Is anybody understand Python here? I mean, can you quickly type yes, yes, yes if you know Python? Because I had one demo to show, which is basically this demo is a predictive application. And it's basically for crop, I would say recommendation. If there are maximum participants who understand that, I can show the demo. Otherwise, I can send it offline and people can have a look at it. Right? So I would need some response from the people here. If they have that knowledge, can show it. Okay, I've got 2 yes. I mean, I will also request all of you to please fill this survey form that I sent across. The purpose of this is 2 things. Whenever I think we want to conduct a next seminar or workshop, we will try to focus on more hands-on workshops. So I think we also wanted to understand what are the specific problems or areas you're facing so that we can customize it. Today's was more about giving an overview and getting us all on the common page and the challenges that are faced both in terms of industry as well as by the farmers, right? And that is where I think we want to set a context. Okay. No Java. Okay. Okay, Raju. It's okay. You know Java, that's fine.
One small issue, sir, here for the feedback form which you have submitted, it is asking for the Survey Planet wala login and everything. I think most of them might not be having that.
What is that? Sorry, ma'am. What is that?
It is asking to log in through Survey Planet only. It should we should have prior registration for that Survey Planet.
1 second. Yeah, 1 second. I'll change it. No, you have to just enter the email ID. That's it.
No, it is asking the login details also. Even I tried entering my email ID, but it's saying it's not.
1 second. I'll check it out. If you enter your email ID and if you go through, I'm able to go through it. I click on the link. 1 second. Let me just check.
Log into Survey Planet.
1
If
second.
you are
1
a
second.
new one, sign up now. Is it the same?
And let me send a different link. Can I send an email? Do you have access to this email? This RAB.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, sir. It is open.
Okay. I'm just sending a link on that email ID. So the forum is open, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Right. Ma'am, I've sent an email. I hope you got the email.
Yeah, yes, sir. It is now opening, as you said.
Yeah, sure. You can please put it on the chat also. Yeah. So Prabhanjan and iPhone. I mean, I'm sorry, it's showing an iPhone. So I'll send you the. I think Akanshil also. I think since maximum of the people are not aware of this thing, what I'll do is, I hope you have filled out your this forms. I'll email this code to you, right? So that you can go around this code, and it's basically a simple. What I want to demo today is, it was a simple system which shows how to predict what plant you want to plant based on a soil parameters, right? That is what the code is about. So I'll send you that file. You can just play around with it. I've made it as it's a self-explanatory plan. I would say code book. I've given comments also. You can play around with it. Hi, Samanvita. I saw. I mean, thanks for sharing your email ID. I request you to please fill the form. Right.
The form is already in the chat, shared in the chat box from our side. All you need to do is you just enter your email ID and join the survey so that you can receive all the required information.
So this question has come from Raju.
Raju.
Yeah. So Raju, do you want to know IoT iOS or what is it like? Can you speak?
No, sir, it's a typing mistake.
Okay, you want to know about IoT,
About
right?
ICT and IoT only, and AI, sir.
Okay. Are you looking for free courses or what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for any kind of
No problem,
course
sir.
in the-
Any free course or paid course?
Okay. I would request you to please go to Coursera, right? In Coursera you find a lot of courses.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 10 more minutes, guys. I think this is a good time. If you have any questions, or if any of the people's earlier question not answered, feel free to ask. Right? If you're shy of asking, please type it out. I can update you on the. I can speak about. I think though it is showing the suggestion, it is definitely it might be something with your browser setting up, right? Zahid, this is not anything suspicious. Don't worry.
Any other person wants to discuss anything on? Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, you can go ahead. If there are no further questions, I think we can wind it up.
Yeah, before going there, I just want to do. I think these are my observations, sir. It may be a factor, na? The main reason for not advancing the application of this IT, IoT, or maybe the artificial intelligence or whatever may be in agriculture is people are in sitting. I mean, are working in their domains only, isolatedly. So they are not actually. There is no cross-cutting among the communities. I mean, the people, the technologies are not being shared. That is probably one of the reason. Then, because if any technology is developed, as one of our participant has placed in the chat box also, the technologies, if they are developed, no, they are the affordability of the farmers is very low. So that's why most of the tech people, they are more interested in developing maybe a gaming software or maybe in a software that fetches them more what we say, the returns. And as long as we measure the efficacy or the outcome of the premier institutes on their what we say, the packages, the graduates that are getting this much of package or that much of package from the premier institutes, which actually not so much useful to the farming community especially. So the things are going on like that. So until unless the things, maybe the IT products or the sensors or whatever may be, if they are becoming very affordable or available at low prices only, then we can do anything, or otherwise the application remains. And of course, even the organic agriculture, organic cultivation, there is a lot of scope for organic cultivation. But the thing is, when coming to the marketing, because of this blockchain technology, or the traceability is lacking, the trust of the products, whether it is really organic or not, so that is actually making the failure of this organic products marketing also.
Agree, sir,
So
with you. Agree with you. I think one thing which
yes,
I am seeing is I am also involved is in supply chain side. There is a lot of work is happening, right?
yes, supply chain,
That is
some IT, and there, yes,
yeah. But the problem with the farmers is, sir, two ways problem, right? One is as an IT professional, when I am working on something, my biggest problem is data is not there, right? That is the problem of IT professionals. But for the farmers, the bigger problem is if they have to see something, they want something to work. They do not have the patience to try something and try it out. Basically the farmers are not labs. I mean, one of the things that we have observed is farmers are saying, don't treat us like lab. Give us a industry grade solution. That is the ask from the farmers, right? I think that is where the gap is happening. And in India also, one perception that is there is technology. See, for example, healthcare is a good example, right? Before COVID, everybody thought technology will not do anything. Post COVID, everybody is accepting that technology can help in healthcare. For agriculture, I think what is happening is still we are not there where the benefits technology, farmers are not seeing it, right? So both technology and farmers, if they work together and they are able to show the benefit, then only it will work.
yes, sir.
But valid point, sir. Yeah.
And even for this artificial intelligence, or maybe there are some apps like Plantix, that and all.
Correct.
Only if the database is very huge. For example, if for a particular disease or a particular pest in a particular crop, in a single crop, a single pest or single disease, it needs a huge database, maybe 1,000 photographs or 2,000 photographs in different stages and a different light exposure, so many things. If you have that much huge data only, then the accuracy of identifying the disease or the insect pest is will be accurate, and then it will give really fruitful. So that also is lacking.
Agreed, sir. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, we have some startups. We have some startups related to this one, supply chain management also, from
Okay.
producer to the B2B business or B2C, thing like that. Of course, in that area, as I said, this application is being used, but directly to the farmers. The
Correct.
only problem is affordability. Affordability is a big problem, and then as you said, the climate change is also a big problem.
Correct.
By the time we give the analysis report and that and all, there may be because no one expecting there is a forecasting of heavy rainfall in the coming 2-3 days.
Correct.
This type of rains we never expected. So
Correct.
even if we go the forecasting, immediately the farmer he already harvested or ready to harvest, there will be damage to the farmers, to the produce.
Correct, sir. Correct. Correct.
Yes.
Correct. I think I was talking to ma'am also. I think what AI potential is there, right? I mean, currently the biggest thing I can see is farmers can use AI for getting knowledge, right? How to use a phone, what is the information? I think that is the immediate low hanging fruit which farmers can use it. So without impacting their day-to-day activity, right? I think that is where I hope some incubators come in your startups and they can use it.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Any questions from the participants? Then I request our team members to give the formal vote of thanks to me. So thank you very much from my side for sparing your valuable time and then sensitizing our participants. Yeah, I request my team members to give the
And
formal.
thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. It was good to meet all of you and give a little bit whatever I know and share with the audience here.
Yes, sir. This type of knowledge is actually very much essential even for our agriculture colleges also. There should be a course on this one also, especially from the application point of view. We know the concepts, but the application point of view are developing some tools that actually needs to be incorporated in the curriculum.
Yes, sir. I think for tool development, right, we need I think that's what I had a sample tool with me, right? I think some kind of hands-on workshop wherein some tools I can teach the students how to write a sample code or how they can do it, right? It can be done. I mean, because it is important that we know the audience skill set so that based on that, we can teach them. A lot of things we don't need to go to advanced labs, right? A lot of things we can sit and do. Because, for example, if you look at me, I sat yesterday night and I was able to finish this tool in like 4 to 5 hours. It's because I know this, right? So this knowledge can be shared across, but I think we need some prerequisite knowledge. I know about it because I've been doing this for my bread and butter. So I think that way we can plan a course where application is actually done, so that students know the basics. In case they don't want to apply in agri-tech, they can use it somewhere else, like somewhere for their job and all, right? It's a win-win situation for agri-tech as well as for their aspirational career.
Okay. So this tool actually, if is an illiterate in the programming, or can he learn within 1 day or 2 day workshop?
See, if it is illiterate, it will be difficult. I think some basic engineering background, some basic programming background, if he has, it will be easy, right?
Okay.
So the first step is to create a tool, right? Second step is to use the tool, right? I think we have to decide the workshop will be done for tool creators or tool users. Based on that, we can differentiate the content that will cover in class. The audience will matter, right? We cannot mix both because creators should be different audience, users should be different audience.
Okay. Okay, sir. Then we will plan some 1 or 2 days workshop with our agriculture students, sir. We will do it, sir.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, if there are no further questions, we can move for formal vote of thanks. And also one small request to all the participants is do fill in the feedback form so that we can provide you with the participation certificates so that you need not write us back again and again. So that will be easy for us and for you as well. And requesting you to fill in the form. And now I'd like to invite our assistant business manager, Ashwik to step in to propose a formal vote of thanks. Ashwik, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, on behalf of Angro Agribusiness Incubation Center, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude for your informative and engaging presentation, sir. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. R. Sharda Jayalakshmi, for giving us an opportunity in organizing this event. And then I would like to thank our director, Dr. L. Prashanti, ma'am, for her support. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Ramana, sir, Associate Director of Research, RARS Tirupati, who is always a backbone of in conducting any such events. Yeah, I would also thank all the scientists of RARS who has been a part of this particular meeting. RRS, yeah, Angro. And lastly, last but not the least, all the participants. Thank you all, without whom the event wouldn't have been so successful. Thank you all once again.
Oh, yeah. Even thank you once again, sir, Amar sir, for your for sparing your valuable time despite of your busy schedule. Thanks for the wonderful session, and I would like to catch up as our Dr. P. Bala Hussain Reddy sir, CEO sir, mentioned that we will definitely plan a workshop for students and even our startups also. We'll soon get in touch. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It was great being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Naresh.
Yeah, finally, we also thank the Ministry of Agriculture, the RKV division also. Just because with their support only, we are promoting all the agribusiness startup ecosystem. So we are very much thankful for them in helping us and supporting us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day for all the participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.